All right. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. Let's
You
get
have
it.
something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're at the right place at the right time because we're going to bring the millionaire out of you. Just hold on.
All right, y'all ready?
There are
Let's get it. Let's
three.
get it. Welcome to the LinkedIn family. Welcome to
you.
YouTube.
Please announce yourself.
Everybody is joining us from Facebook as well as on the live line. I want to welcome you to another edition
All
of Good Morning
participants are
Millionaire.
muted.
I want to welcome you to another edition of the
Entry and
Entrepreneurs
exit tones are off.
Morning Show. Every single morning we meet up right here to learn different things that are going to help us improve. You know, that's one small hack that I want you to take away this morning. Focus on improvement. You know, if you made this many calls last week, what can we do to make a couple more? You say you made 5 calls last week. What can you do to make 6 this week? What can you do to make 7? You say that you did 3 follow-ups yesterday. What can you do to make 4 of them today? You say that you met 1 new person yesterday. What can you do to make 2? What can you do to meet 2 new people today? Somebody say everyday improvement. Everyday improvement. And one of the most powerful ways that you can improve in entrepreneurship is to work on your rapport building skills. I'm going to give you 5 different kind of ways you can do that this morning. Those of you that follow us that are a member of the Kaizen Academy, or you consider yourself millionaire minded, you know we always preach that rapport is 80% of the sale. I dare you write that in your comments. I dare you write that in your notes. Rapport is 80% of the sale. Rapport ain't 20%. Rapport ain't something that you do sometimes and other times you don't. You just forgot. But I want you to realize this morning, so that you begin to prioritize the way you move a little bit differently. Check this out, write it down. Rapport is 80% of the sale. And if you can't spell rapport, it's right there. Rapport is 80% of the sale. And even though we know building relationships is a long-term game, there are a few things that you can do to get you started on that journey. We understand that if you're going to build a good relationship with a client, it's going to be built on mutual trust. It's going to be built on mutual respect. And that takes time. But there are ways you can kickstart the process. There are ways that you can create rapport more quickly. And then the rapport can start to be the foundation that years-long working relationship is based on. But how do you connect quickly with somebody that you just now met, right? The bottom line is that when you're talking to somebody and they're a prospect, they want to feel heard. They want to feel understood. And the quickest way for you to demonstrate that y'all are on the same page is for you to reiterate what they said. There's a couple ways you can do that. We're going to run through some of them. Here's the first one I got for you. Y'all ever heard of reflection? Somebody say reflecting is an excellent way to build rapport. Reflecting is an excellent way to build rapport. Somebody say build rapport by reflecting. So what is reflecting? When you're reflecting, as you chop it up with a client, you pick a few critical words that the client has said to you, and then you use them in your reply, right? So let's say that your client wants to expand his trucking business. He wants to bring on a couple more trucks, and he makes that clear to you. They might say, I feel like I'm kind of stagnating where I am. I hear that there are other contracts I could get with FedEx and Amazon, et cetera. I want to explore that. So then what you might say a couple minutes later is like, man, I've heard the same thing about FedEx and Amazon. If you feel like you're kind of stagnating, then maybe the time has come to explore some of these opportunities and see what new options there might be, right? So now I'm talking to them, they feel heard, and then later on, I can bring in the business credit. But all I did was reiterate what they said. They call that reflection. Am I making sense? It seems really simple, but this is a technique that has been proven to help you foster stronger connections a lot quicker. They even did this study with the wait staff at this restaurant chain, right? And what they found out is that when the servers repeated the customer's order back to them, they earn nearly twice as much in tips. Huh? On average, when they didn't repeat it, then they did dismal, right? The reason that I'm explaining that to you is so that you remember if you will use this skill of reflection, where you reflect a client's needs back to them, it shows you understand what they want. It shows you're on the same page. And after all, how can I be valuable to you if I don't even know what you value? That might be something good to write in your notes. How can I be valuable to you if I don't even know what you value? Here's the second one, y'all. Paraphrasing. So reflecting is an excellent technique, no doubt about it, for these shorter conversations. Thing is, though, with reflecting, sometimes the longer you talk, the more noticeable it can become that you're repeating the same things back to your client that your client said to you. That's where number 2 comes in, paraphrasing. Yeah, let them know, Damon. Let them know, bro. That's where number 2 comes in, paraphrasing. Millionaires, I'm sure you've done this before. It's similar to reflecting, except instead of you picking out keywords and repeating them, what you're doing is trying to restate the client's basic ideas in your own words, right? We call that paraphrasing. Now, what this does is this shows them that you've been listening. This shows them, more importantly, that you understand. And it's most effective if you phrase it like it's a question. So your client says, I don't want to spend too much money, but I do want something that's going to have some quality. It's going to last me a while. Then maybe you respond back. So if I understand you correctly, you want something that's reasonably priced, but not of such a poor quality that you got to replace it right away. Am I close? Y'all see that? That's paraphrasing. Somebody say paraphrasing. And then when you do it as a question, what it shows is that you're actively engaged. When I ask you a question, it comes with a sort of agreement. And the agreement that's in place, since I asked you this question, you're pretty much assuming that I'm going to listen to the answer. So we're engaged, baby. We're engaged. Now, you ain't telling the client what they want. You're listening and making sure you're on the same page with understanding what they say they want. Now they feel heard. Now they know their opinion is valued. And this brings me to number 3. Y'all ready? Here's the third one. And we always talk about this when we talk about emotional intelligence. Here's number 3, y'all. Identify and acknowledge your client's emotions. That's the number 3 way for you to build rapport. Identify and acknowledge your client's emotions. When's the last time you tried that, y'all? You know, you'll have an angry client. You'll have a frustrated client. And your first instinct, a lot of times, is going to steer them away from those emotions, right? You don't want angry clients. You want happy clients. You want satisfied clients. Check this out, all my millionaire-minded. Everybody that's in the Kaizen Academy. Everybody understands the 3 R's of revenue acceleration. We know that second R is referrals. So what we want is not only a happy client, we want not only a satisfied client, we want a client that's so impressed with us that they'll refer us to other people. Do you know one of the biggest opportunities for you to create that is when there's a problem? Do you know one of the biggest opportunities for you to create that is when they're angry, when they're frustrated? Because check it out, y'all. It's not until you come through and solve a crisis for me that I know I can count on you. You don't want angry, frustrated in the middle of you want them to understand that they're heard. You want them to feel like they're in good hands. You know, the way Allstate Insurance used to say, you're in good hands with Allstate. But what happens is, if you jump straight into that, where are my winter personalities at? Where are my men at? Where are my men at? Check this out. If you jump straight into trying to steer or maneuver their feelings to a specific place, you're going to come off insensitive. You're going to come off unempathetic. So what do? We need to learn to identify and acknowledge their emotions. You know, I ask for the men because sometimes we don't do that with the ladies in our life, but also we don't do that with clients. So if you want to build rapport with the client, what you want to do is identify those emotions, acknowledge those emotions, and check this out, validate those emotions. Can I get somebody to put that in the comments? Can I get somebody to put that in the comments? Identify those emotions, acknowledge those emotions, and validate those emotions. Identify, acknowledge, and validate. Identify, acknowledge, and validate your client's emotions. This is going to build rapport. Here's the fourth one I got for you. Meet them where they are. Meeting people where they are. When I meet somebody where they are, y'all, it means what I've done is I've bridged the gap between my own expectations and where that other person's coming from. What can you do to meet people where they are? You know, one of the greatest teachers of all time, the cat they call Jesus, right? One of the greatest leaders of all time, he would meet people where they were, right? What are we saying? It means that now you're intentionally listening to understand their values, understand their attitude, understand their needs, their desires, their lifestyle, right? You know, in the Buddhist way of life, they have a term. They call it holding the space. What it means basically the same thing. Like you're really being present in the moment. You're holding the space. Sometimes having a simple chat with somebody can reveal what a person really needs if you'll just have the patience to observe them, right? Be mindful of their body language, right? Because their behavior might tell you everything you need to know. And it's also meeting them where they are in a way. Because instead of you trying to manipulate how they're feeling, you're just observing how they're feeling, right? You're identifying, you're acknowledging, you're validating how they feel. And this requires a delicate hand. All my winter personalities out there, y'all probably go through it with this one like I do, right? Because if you make them feel like they ain't allowed to feel a certain way, they can come to resent you. They can come to feel a little bitterness. So instead, you need to meet them where they are. If somebody's happy, you need to celebrate that. If somebody's angry, look, you need to let them be angry a little bit and show you understand why they're angry. This is going to help your clients feel seen. This is going to help you connect with them better. Am I making sense? Is this making sense for real, y'all? Hey, Brandy, you catching this, Queen? Yolanda, is this making sense? If this is making sense to you, then you definitely want to pay attention to this next Kaizen Academy, where all we're focusing on is setting appointments. Can somebody put that in the comments? Set appointments. Sometimes the biggest problem that you have in your business, the biggest way that you're wasting your marketing dollars or wasting the marketing time that you spend, y'all, is that you're trying to get your clients to take one big leap over this Grand Canyon instead of building a bridge for them to walk across. I can help anybody that's listening to me double the power of their marketing, double the power of their outreach if you will just look to set appointments first. Instead of trying to do everything right then, set appointments. That's all we're going to talk about this weekend. But a big part of setting appointments is that rapport. It's the rapport piece. You got me? It's the rapport piece. So here's the fifth one I got for you. I promised you 5 hacks for almost instant rapport with your prospects. Number 5 is identify the root of their emotions. You know, it's so funny how so many of these hacks can go into customer service as well. But I want you to try and identify the root of their emotions, right? It's essential to try and understand what's causing this person to feel this way, y'all. If this is somebody brand new and you ain't had no interaction with them and they angry right out the gate, chances are you ain't the reason they angry. Just like if you're in a relationship and you do something and then they just react all crazy, chances are you ain't the reason that they had that visceral reaction like that. Maybe they're frustrated by the problem that God put you there to solve. Maybe they spent a long time on hold before you even got to them if you're in customer service. Yo, maybe they had trouble parking on the way up to your office. If you talk to them for a little while without judgment, without getting defensive, without personalizing their rude behavior, for instance, right? They might open up and tell you what's happening, or at least provide a couple clues where you can get the gist of it and then get out the way of all of that angst and all of that stress and anxiety. Check it out. Hurt people hurt people. But once you've identified their emotions, You ain't so hurt no more. Check it out, y'all. You need to identify, acknowledge, and validate. But I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes, man, you need to validate before you've even identified the cause. Y'all catching what I'm saying? And there's a bunch of phrases that you can use. There are also some pitfalls you want to avoid, because maybe you've heard this term lately, arguing with your girl because she be in the hair salon. And this is one of the things they talk about all the time. Y'all heard this term, gaslighting? Gaslighting. Most people don't know what that means, but it means almost like when I'm trying to convince you that your truth ain't valid. When I'm trying to convince you you're somebody different than you are. They call that gaslighting. And maybe I'm screwing it up, Google it, But here's my point. If I say, I'm sorry, you're angry, or if I say, I'm sorry, you feel that way, that can sound condescending, right? It's like, I'm sorry if you were offended, because what I'm doing is I'm putting the onus on you. I'm almost saying, I'm sorry you're a little baby and you can't handle life. You know what I mean? So instead of that, what if you try, I'm sorry that happened to you? Or I can see how that would be frustrating. I can see that. Y'all get the difference? Y'all get the difference? You crazy, Trey. Trey, you crazy. But y'all get the difference? I'm sorry you're upset versus I can see why that would frustrate the crap out of me too. Y'all see the difference? Once they've had a chance to get their emotions out, your next step is to kind of fix things, not fix their emotions, but maybe you fix the root cause, whatever that might be. If it's something your company has done, then maybe you ask how you can rectify it. If it's not about the problem that they've come to you and your business to solve, then maybe you jump out there and show how you can help, right? Maybe you can help them in that way too, and they didn't even know it. If it's something outside your control, maybe you offer them something you can control. A glass of water, some tea, words of encouragement, a minute to catch their breath, right? Want to walk around the block. All I'm saying is you can build an authentic connection by showing your client that you care. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Can somebody type that in the comments and give me a share? Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And then once you've built on that connection, it ain't just a sale. Now we're talking about years of sales. We're talking about years of referrals, all because you built that rapport. Millionaires, people don't give you referrals because they like you. People don't give you referrals because they want to do you a favor. People give you referrals because it makes them feel superior to their friends. Therefore, when something goes wrong, you want to quickly do everything you can to come off like a superhero, because people refer superheroes. Was this helpful? Scale of 1 to 10. Scale of 1 to 10. Was this helpful? Was this helpful? Rapport make you look like a superhero to them. Y'all catching it? Rapport make you look like a superhero to them. You with me? It's affirmation time. If we helped you make some money this morning, somebody give me a money bag emoji. Give me a money bag emoji. If this helped you make some money this morning, if you could feel it. Hey, Trey, that's it, bro. Like they got an inside man. You want to be good cop. You want to put bad cop on somebody else. You want to let somebody else be the bad cop. You the good cop, baby. Let's go. Yeah, that's what I like. Them money bag emojis. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. All right, then, Yuli. Let's go. Money bag emoji. Yeah, Brandon. Yeah, Damon. Money bags, baby. All right, we're about to add to it. It's time for some affirmations. Y'all ready? Let's go. Repeat after me. Say it like you mean it. Take your cool off. If there's one thing that you need to buy yourself this month, going into spring, It's the affirmation and visualization coloring book. But even if you don't buy it, at least say your affirmations every morning. If you don't want to say them by yourself, come say them with us. All right? We're going to make you feel not so corny. Yeah. All right, let's get it. Repeat after me. Say it like you mean it. I am so happy and grateful that money comes to me easily and frequently and in